I welcome you all to the video lecture series of TBMS. In the ninth unit, we'll see the TCL in a part 2 and what is view and what are the application, how view is different from the table. My name is Drashti Gardare and I am faculty at ICT Marwadi University. Let me start with the explanation. When I say TCL, you are aware about what is TCL. TCL is nothing but a transaction control language, and TCL is used for manipulating a different operation with the help of rollback and the commit. If you don't want to proceed with the existing command, you can perform the rollback. If you are having a right output and you want to permanently store that result, you use the commit. Okay, and different point we can mark with the help of save point. Let me jump to my screen where I am taking to the part 2 of TCL. Now, before I start with the TCL, what I can do, in last previous lecture, I have explained you how you can use the primary key creation with the help of alter command. Creating a table from a scratch, what you can do, you can add a constraint of primary key in a create table. This is the syntax that you can use: create table, table name. And when we are explaining what are the column and column time, at the time you can also mention this is the primary key attribute you want to set this column. Here, what is auto increment? Auto increment is a term that we can use with the associate with a specific column, and it will start with the 1. By default, every auto increment will start with the 1, and as the row enters, they automatically get updated with the new value. So here the primary key will be the constraint, as well as it is also a auto increment. Not null means I am setting that no one will allow to create a new store without the name. Okay, because I am setting the constraint not null. So store name should be there whenever some new entry will come in a store table. Now what is city ID? City ID means here you want to mention that this is a column which are referred by the other table, that is city table. In the city table we have a name city key. City key is their primary key of the city table. That's why we are referring that city key column in my store table. Fine. And as it is not a part of here, this is the different line. Okay, here you can mention all this thing as we have mentioned here. Otherwise you can create a new column with this line, and whenever you are doing this, this is used because when you want to merge different column as a single foreign key or different column as a single primary key, you can add that constraint at the end. Whenever you are complete with the, here we have missed the stock value. Stock is our integer value, yes or no? And after doing all this thing, you can execute on whatever the XYZ column you want to add, that you can add here. This combinedly create our foreign key. Fine. But in our case, store key is the only foreign key. So I'm not adding any XYZ. But if your constraint says you want to create a 2 column combinedly as a foreign key, you use this thing. Fine. Now here this I have explained how you can use the new create query for assigning a primary as well as foreign key. Also you can refer this thing as a city table creation. This is the constraint you can use. Fine. Now one more thing I want to explain is here till now we have seen insert into city name and region. These two we are adding. Why we are not adding the city key? City key we have set auto increment. So our first row will get 1 city key. The Surat will get 2 city key. Likewise all the city will get their key value. Fine. Now here I am not using this line again. Why? Because in MySQL we have a privilege that we can use a semicolon in between a row so that we can add multiple column in a single insert command. Fine. Please understand this thing. This is very important. As many row you want to insert with the help of insert into command, you can use this comma constraint. Fine. Now let me jump to our TCL part. Yes. This is the query. Please read the query first. This is the question that you have to solve. Please read the question. Here, let me read for you. Write a minimal set of SQL command required to create a table with the single column I. Now, why this is expecting is, let me create a simple table that have only one single column, that is known as a I. How can you create? With the help of create table, table name. I am keeping the table name right now taste. And in this, I require only single column with the column name I, and we want to initiate the data as 1. So because as we want to initiate with the 1, I will keep a integer as a data type. Yes, this is the way I want to create one table with the single column. Now after doing this, what we can do, we want to initiate that value with the help of 1. How can you do that? With the help of insert into. Yes or no? Insert into your table name and then values, and here I want to add 1. Am I clear or not? I'm not adding here extra bracket, but without this also they can understand. What do you think? Let me execute one by one. This is the first line. Okay, they are successful. Okay, now execute the second line. It is also successful. Now let me check the value inside my test table. What I miss the from, yes, and then semicolon. Okay, this is the value I'm having. Good. Now I don't require this thing, so I'm removing this part. But if you want, please refer this thing. This is the simplest way you can create a single table with a single column and a single row. Fine. Now the next line you have to read is in between a multiple save point, declare and roll back to the middle save point. What is the final value of integer column I? Explain which update statement are affected undone by the rollback command. Okay. What they want is multiple save point. Okay, and in multiple save point you want to update this I. How can you update this I value? With the help of update command, yes or no? Update taste set. What you want to set? I is equal to I plus plus, or you can say I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, and where you want to do this thing, as we have only one column, we don't require to perform a where clause. Fine. Save point, yes or no? Save point we want to keep. I'm giving the name S1, and this line we want to perform multiple time. So what I did, I just copy this to line and I make multiple same operation but different save point. Okay, so here what will happen, after this line will execute, the I value become 2. After this line execute, I value become 3. After this execution, I value become 4. Now the most important thing is, after doing all these things, my query tab, inside my query tab, here I have a auto commit transaction, yes or no? I want to disable this auto commit transaction. Why? Because whenever we are working with the rollback, you cannot become able to roll back with the commit transaction. If you commit, then after you cannot able to roll back the transaction, yes or no? That's why whenever you want to experiment with the rollback command, you need to disable this option. This option is inside your query menu. In a query menu, this is the option, that is auto commit transaction. They need to be disabled. Fine. Now after doing all these things, what you can do, let me execute one by one. Or what you can do, as we already execute this command, what you have, they will throw a message how you can drop a table with the help of drop table name, yes or no? This is the simple command you can use to drop any table. So I'm executing all this line. Fine. And after executing all this thing, I can check what is the value of I. And after checking the value of I want to roll back to the S2 point. If I roll back to the S2, what will be the value of I should be there? That way we will execute and then I will find out. Let me execute all the line. And how can you check that all the line is updated or not? Here there is a problem. What was the problem is, we want to, whenever you are doing any update command, you want to set your SQL safe update mode disable. How can you do this thing? Let me do this part on the top. Set, this is my global variable, so I'm setting SQL safe updates. Okay, and this need to be disabled, so I am setting this value as a 0. Fine. Let me execute this thing. Whenever you want to update or delete in a column, what will happen? They have an extra protection. Then whenever you want to do this type of task, default mode says you are not allowed to update in existing record, and if you want to delete or update any record, you need to disable the safe update mode. Fine. And that's why I'm forcefully disabling this option, so that I can able to perform this task. Let me re-execute everything, and this time they are not showing any error. So read one by one. This is the line that is important to us. 34 line says S1 is set, then increment will happen. Let me check what was the value of I, because all these line are in a green tick. So every we start with the value 1 and we incremented 3 times. So at the last the value of I need to be 4. How can you check? Select command, yes or no, and run. Now as we are expecting I's value is 4, but now I need to roll back. Roll back to which position? I want to roll back to S2. Fine. In exam, what will happen? This type of sample code is given and they expect to answer the output. What is expected outcome after this all command? So you have to understand what is the meaning of this. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? And after doing all this thing, you have to understand this is the rollback command. And because of the rollback command, what will happen? This line will get, whatever the operation we have performed after the S2 will get rollback. So this +1 as well as this +1 effect is been rolled back, and that's why we get only one time increment. fine. And after doing all this thing, at the last, what you want to do, I want to perform a commit. Without the commit, what will happen? Whatever we are done will not been affected when next time I open this workbench, fine. So server need to be updated with the help of commit command, fine. Now let me roll back first and check what was the value of I performed the rollback successfully. Yes, you can see here. Now let me execute what is the value of I. Now the I value is 2, and without the commit I've closed this thing. What will happen? Next time I open, they will say test is not a valid table. Test is not a valid table. Why? Because all this thing after the create to all are not perform any commit. So whatever we are doing is made in a temporary copy. And if you want all these things to be reflect on a next session, what you can do, you have to perform a commit. This is the way you have to commit this command. Okay, this is a simple line, and if it is grid mark, what will happen? Your final value is copied in your database server and the value is 2. So we have successfully completed this problem, that explain which update statement are effectively undone by the rollback command. So what you can do here, in exam they will provide 13 number update will be affected, but 15 and the 17th number of update is not get updated affected, and that's why it is known as a undone statement. Okay, so explain which update statement are effectively undone by the rollback command. So what should be your answer? Is your answer should be your 15th update and 17th line of update will get rollback, fine. Now what was the next question? Is this question, you have first of all to understand this problem, you have to identify what is the meaning of view. Ideally view is nothing but a you can say, consider it is a it is extra layers on a original base table. You can operate your base table with the help of view. View is created on top of your base table, and you can fetch the value with the help of view, as well as you can update the value with the help of view. But there are some of the constraints that if you consider you have created with the help of distinct, you know the distinct command. Consider you have created one view with the help of your single base table, and in that you have mentioned that you want to create. How can you create? First of all, create view, and the view name is view1, and here you have to provide the your query. Now I want to create a view with the help of distinct city name, okay, city key from store table. Okay, as you all are aware that store table have multiple city keys, fine. So from that I want to set only the distinct value of city key I want to fetch. I can create this type of query or not? Yes, you can create this type of query. Let me execute this query, because this part you can understand with the help of this. Let me check what was the error name. Is distinct is not a keyword. Okay, I had a mistake. What is the spelling is? Okay, this is the spelling. Okay, let me execute this again. Now they are successfully created a view 1. Let me check what is inside my view 1. Select star from view 1 and let me fetch. So this all are the city keys from the store table. Ideally our store table have more city key, but here the repeated column are been removed. Now consider I want to fire some update query with the help of view1. You are firing update query like this. Update manager, update or store table and set update a view1 and set manager is equal to Drashti, where your city key is 5 or a 4. What do you think? They will able to perform this task or not? First of all, they are not able to perform this task. Why? Because we have created a view with the help of distinct keyword. Distinct mail, they are refining some result, and whenever you are refining some result, they are not able to get a appropriate column or appropriate row in your final result. Okay, don't think view can only perform a column filter. No, view can also able to perform a row filter too, fine. So if I update this thing, what do you think? They will able to update the manager or not? Let me execute this line. This is the error that we are having is here. This is the error name. What they are saying is target table view1 of update is not updatable, because of the problem that we have. You see that we don't have a unique city key. Okay, so multiple row inside a store table with the same city key might have, and that's why this type of view are not able to identify the exact row in which this effect need to be copied. Otherwise, if it is a unique row, it will get affected and this become our updatable view. But as we have created this view with the help of distinct columns value, that's why we are not able to create updatable view. So what we have created is an updatable view. Please identify this is the two type of view that you can create based on your query. This is the based on your query. You please write down which type of query we can provide which able to create your unupdatable view. You want to forcefully create your unupdatable view, then what you can do, you can use a distinct keyword, or you can do a joint keyword, multiple table you are joining, and if they in that operation, if it is not able to derive a unique record to your base table, that view also become unupdatable. Fine. So many time a complex join operation also come to the unupdatable view. What else is, let me jump to my screen where I am explaining it more. So this is the types of view. Let me elaborate more. Why the need of view first of all, and what is the primary difference between the table and the view? Pay attention here. Your storage. Ideally, your table is your physical storage structure and view is your virtual table. It is not using your physical storage. View only store this line. Which line? That line that are useful to create this query. What is inside your view one is only this line. Select distinct city key from store. So whenever you are firing or operating with the view one, every time they want to fire this query to identify the record. Fine. So it is time taking, or it will, you can say, process heavy execution, but you have there are multiple advantages also for creating a view. But this is the you in the at the end, they are not using your physical storage, they are nothing but your virtual table. In that, they every time they need to perform the operation to get the appropriate records. Now, what are the dependency that we table have and what are the dependency that view have? In the table, independent data objects we can use, and in a view, dependent on an underlying base table. Please understand what is a base table. In our case, our base table is your, what is our base table? Our base table is your store. Okay, so store is nothing but a base table for your view one. There can be a multiple base table for creating a single view, and that can be possible with the help of if you are using a union or you are using a join. Fine. Now I think I explained what is dependency. Now what is performance? I already explained. Performance will be degraded if you have a very complex view structure. Can be slower due to the dynamic computation, but the materialized view can improve this. What is a materialized view? Materialized view means if your view is very simple, that is able to operate in a very, if the same view are using multiple times, in the one go they have to execute, and rest of the operation they can fetch the value from the same result. So depend upon the situation, view can be helpful as well as view can add extra burden to your processing power. Fine. And what about the table? Table is generally faster for a direct data access and the simple query, but it is not in a real scenario. Whenever you are working with tables, it is not a direct access they are providing. With the help of view, every base table are getting the only unsensitive part to the end user. Otherwise, what will happen? There are a problem of security and as well as some aspect. That's why they want to developer need to access only the view, not your original table. Fine. There are also some advantage also, because in a base table, if something happened to your data, if you want to add some new column, that is possible in a table, but your view will not get affected if you are changing your physical logic. Okay, view will work on a logical level and table is working on a physical level. Fine. Now data modification. Can we able to provide to modify your original data with the help of table? Yes, of course. We are doing the full thing with the help of insert, update, delete command. We have already operate this operation on our table, but can we do the same thing with the view? Yes, you can also perform the update, insert, delete, everything with the help of view, but there are some of the restriction that if your view is unupdatable view, then you are not able to manipulate your data with the help of the view. Please make sure that whatever you are creating are not are updatable view or unupdatable view. With the help of your query, you can identify that this is which type of view that you have created. Now pay attention to this line. These are the some of the advantages of using a view. Okay, now as I explained how they are providing the security, as some of the column are not allowed to checked by the user or some constraint you want to set, that you don't want to provide a direct access to your credit card number or your password. So that column are not directly used by the other modules. Only the login module will require a password, not all the modules. So what you can do, the rest of the modules are not getting the password. Okay, and that is possible because of the view constraint, that in view we are only fetching the appropriate column or appropriate row that are needed in that module. Fine. So this way we are enhancing a extra you can say abstraction layer you can adding. That's why we can limited the visibility of your data. Now what is query simplification? As I explained, there are a complex logic with the help of multiple join, union, aggregate function, calculation, multiple things you are adding, and every time you don't want to perform that task, what you can do in place of that, you are simply create one view one time which accommodate all this complex query inside that view. So next time when you want to perform that complex task, you are not doing that all the query, you just simply use that view name. Fine. And at the end at the back end they have to perform that complex task, but as a developer your task becomes simpler. So query simplification are there. Many time what will happen, two complex query are able to create a different view, and now this two view can able to join. Okay, so this way complexity will get increase if you are not using the view. Fine. Now what is data abstraction and the consistency? View provide a consistent and abstract layer over the database schema. If the underlying table structure change, what do you mean by the change? If some table rename is happened or some split happened, you don't have to change everywhere. You just simply have to add that rename name in your view. So whenever the same view will work anywhere, the new updated table name is already there in your updated view. So don't need to update everywhere whenever you are using that table content. Fine. So this is the way you can able to maintain your consistency with the help of view. Okay, you can update only the view definition to maintain the backward compatibility interface without the breaking the dependent application. Okay, what is the fourth point is reduce the storage space. Ideally what will happen, we are not using all the column and we are not using all the record. Okay, so what you can do, you can create a view based on your need, and that storage temporary data need to be stored. Okay, not every time you are using the whole table. So read this line, standard view store only that definition whatever that we are providing as, create view name as, whatever after the as is your SQL query, or you can say SQL definition of the view. Fine. Do not duplicate the data, thus consume a very little storage space in a database. Okay, as I explained, in a view we are not storing the whole result, we are only storing the SQL query. Fine. So that's why we are reducing the storage extra space. Now customizable user experience, what you can say, based on the role administration that you are from the which department, based on your role you can have different views. So what you can do, whatever you have more frequent access or more required data are created for you with the help of view. So the customized user experience that you are getting with the help of the view, that every time you don't have to perform that many time in the developing environment in an industry, they will not provide you the base data structure how they are doing in a raw data, because in a real life scenario there are 100,000 column in your master table, and if you go through all the detail of that, you get very confused. So what they can do, they are creating a multiple view for multiple report or module, whatever the new fresher are doing. So only fresher are aware about what is a view and what the data that they are getting in a view. They are not bothered about the original data that behind that view. So base data information are get you can say abstracted, or you can say it is adding extra layer, and that's why we can say that different user based on their working task they have assigned different views. Okay, so view also have a, you can say it is similar to index is doing extra task for making your operation faster. Yes, index is also adding an extra burden to your system. Why? Because whenever you are using an index, it is also taking extra processing space, but you are only creating an index on a column which are more frequently used. Yes or no? Same way you have to create a view which are more frequently used. Yes or so? That's why it is more important to understand the different view concept and what are the working in a database, and that you can understand with the help of your practical explanation. Let me jump to our workbench. Okay, now here I took the one example for your simple understanding. Let me read this line that you have to perform. Create a single view with the store and its city name. Check any update with the help of view is possible to reflect in original table or not. This is the task given to us, and in this task you have to create as well as you have to check that if any update is possible with that newly created view or not. First of all, what is the syntax for creating a new view, create view, and whatever the name you want to set. I want to create a store with the city name. You can use the camel case also. That depend upon your industry standard or whatever the company you are having, and that they have already provided the specific syntax in which you have to create. Okay, this is a similar order or a pattern that you have to follow whenever you are creating some new views. Okay, this is the line create store, and the I'm setting a city name because I am require a city name as well as the store details. Fine. Okay, now as I understood, here I require a joint operation. Yes, let me create this line on a new select. I want city. I require a store key. I require a city key, or you can say only city name. I think this is sufficient to me, or I want to update a region also. Okay, they have not mentioned what are the column they are looking in this view, but for understanding or simplicity, I'm keeping this 4 column form in my view. And here this will not end. Here you have to perform on. Why? Because here we are doing a join. Okay, so what is C and what is here you have to write down your store is S and your city is C. Okay, and here S dot city key is equal to C dot city key. Yes or no? Fine. So what is the mistake I have created? You have to use the word join. Fine. Let me create this new view. It is successfully created. Now let me check the content in my select star from view store city name. This is my table name. Sorry, this is my view name. Okay, total 9 record that we are having. What are the next tasks? How can you check the thing are getting affected in original table or not? Let me create one more line. Select star from city. This is my city table. Let me show you the content of city table 2. Okay, this is my city tables 6 record. Okay, now what is important in I want to update in this your city key 1 have the city name Ahmedabad. So can I update the city name of city key 1 with the help of view or not? Let me try with this thing. Update view store city name set. What you want to set? I want to set the city name. I want to set a city name. What the name I want to set? I want to set the city name as only short form of AHM, where my city key is equal to 1. Fine. I'm doing this thing with the help of your view, not your city. So what will happen after I update this line? Let me run this line. Okay, it is successfully done. How can I say? Because of the green tick. Now let me check the values updated in our green table or view table or not. Here this is values updated. Yes. Now what will happen to the city table? Let me check this thing too. Yes, here also value is updated. So what will happen here? As we have the unique constraint that only city key are possible, whenever we have a city key 1, that all the places we are able to update the Ahmedabad to the short form of AHM. Okay, so what is the answer to this question is, if I created the view like this way, then I am able to update. Okay, that doesn't mean that every store and city table combination will always become your updatable view. No, that doesn't mean that this combination, this two table always make your, and as I explained, join will always not create a unupdatable view. Here we have created the view with the help of join, as well as I'm able to update the record with the help of the view. So every time it is not there that your view is unupdatable because you have used the join. That is simply because of if your system or a software is able to find out the appropriate record where you have need to update without the ambiguity, this will able to update the record in your original memory. Fine. I hope this all will help you in understanding the concept of view. See you in the next video. Till then, practice. Bye bye.